You wanna know how my day's gone so far? It's been a mess, and it's only 11:49 right now. October 2023. I met somebody who was dear and close to me. This was the same girl that I spoke of in my YouTube video posted earlier this year, titled "The Man Who Found His Soulmate Then Lost Her." This girl opened my eyes to the traumatic, long-term domestic violence that I was blinded of realizing I was going through. After my abusive ex forced ties to be cut between us, I set a goal to finish what me and this girl started in getting me out of the spouse abuse relationship. It took me 3.5 months just to make a single phone call. A call for help. Then one day, January 1st, 2024, I packed my bags, got on a transit, and permanently fled. This photo right here was accidentally taken on my phone just in the 5 minutes of arriving to a domestic violence prevention shelter that I will not disclose. It was the face of a man who was traumatized, beyond confused, lost, and scared for the future in all directions. I didn't know how to face something like this. Not a lot of men in general know what abuse is like, and I was one of them. Little did I know, this first 5 minutes was the first step to recovery, but also the first steps to a long, devastating year we know as 2024. Gave me this nice little goodie bag right here. Gave me my backpack with my monitor, and then a big boy with the suitcase and all the clothes, my headphones, my personal things, Xbox. From January 1st through February 2nd, I'd be spending my 22nd birthday in the shelter, making friends, attending emergency therapy sessions, and ultimately wasting my new life away smoking cigarettes and getting high just to drown out the change. Ultimately, these 2 months were me trying to get comfortable being out of a domestic violence relationship back into singleness and, to put it more bluntly, loneliness all over again. Before I met my ex-girlfriend, I used to pray to God for the loneliness to end, all of the days I'd spend alone. Now, he put me right back in it. After I left the shelter, I moved back into my mom's apartment and slept on her couch while my grandpa moved in with her to receive extensive personal care. From February going into the middle of March, I finally began taking care of myself again, physically at least. I began working out at a private gym and trying to lose weight from the last 2.5 years of my ex's unhealthy eating habits wearing off on me and my own personal depression eating that eventually did catch up to my weight gain. It was around this time that I also began taking care of my hair and making plans to grow it from here on out. It was a, quote, new symbol of who I was, a growing part of me that resembled my new journey of leaving the short ends behind. Come on, go back inside. As March moved into April, my mom and grandpa got settled into their new place. It was fortunately the same apartment complex, but with a new apartment. I continued working on myself physically, gaining confidence and self-love again. I also ended up joining Walmart's full-time night shift, with plans to move into my own apartment within the first week of May. In all honesty, things were looking very, very, very bright. Starting night shifts at Walmart, working full-time, and with my near future yielding a brand new apartment for me to live in, I felt like I was finally getting my footing. I felt like I was actually making something work, and that I didn't need to reminisce constantly on the things that had just happened all these years going. Then, just a single week before I was about to move into my own apartment, the biggest tragedy struck me since I even left the relationship. This was the next big thing I had to learn to live without. The cat that you're seeing with the brown spots on him is Charlie. The little white cat that he's playing with in this video is Mr. Sugar. That's actually my mom's cat. I got Charlie when he was just a little boy back in early 2017 when I was falsely accused of rape in my freshman year of high school. Charlie was literally my best friend. I mean, he went through everything with me, from the 2.5 years of that domestic violence relationship to the entirety of being there with me through the domestic violence prevention shelter and beyond. And just a week before we were about to have our own place to finally settle down in peace together, he passed away. Grab a fresh stick of butter and put it in there. Right there at the top. This video right here is me stoned as hell and stupidly trying to make my first meal in my first apartment by myself like a big boy. Like a grown man that I should have been. But hey, I was in my celebration era. My first apartment. How many things on that counter right there can you count that is enough to give me type 1 diabetes? Good Lord. Throughout the 2 months, I settled in pretty quick. I started focusing on my facial hair a lot more. And I started live streaming on Twitch again. Yes, that is a 45 kill game on friggin' Fortnite. I don't know how. And you know what? Despite losing Charlie just a month before, I was actually really happy in life. I was working my night shifts and I was making things work. Like, I was doing it the best I could. And because I was kind of a night shift person, I ended up staying up late at night and kept the neighbors awake too by laughing my fat white ass off, such as these videos.
Bro, this new fucking episode of The Boys. Sex scene in the new episode. And oh my god, I don't know why this just cracks me up so bad. I'm crying, dude. Look at her. This is the best episode they've released so far. I've been crying for the past 35 minutes. It's 4 in the morning right now.
No, I smack your ass and then you smack mine, bro, then we go to work. Stratton Berkshire, what the hell?
I don't know why, but this just cracks me the being from the UK. I've been crying for 5 minutes. Oh God, help me. This dude's reaction has me absolutely bona fide, dude. Look at this one last time. Oh God, I'm dying.
So, as you can tell, I had a pretty dang fun time. It was fun being in my own apartment. Now, let's get on to July and then on to August, because these 2 months, things really started changing for me. This is where I started seeing God opening up a lot of doors in my life. Yeah, honestly, not a whole lot happened in July besides this. It was a good 4th of July. I spent it by myself and watched a lot of fireworks.
Whoa, time to go in.
Everyone gets close to God in uncountable ways. For me, during August, this was my way of not just getting closer to God, but finding who I was. The entire month of August, I spent traveling around the valley and taking videos and photos, as you saw in that small mini montage. Ultimately, by the end of the month, finding what exactly made me me. It's a cliche little statement, believe me, I know, but for some reason, spending all of my loneliness in nature, at sunsets, just completely isolated and by myself, helped me find who I was. In other words, I found my identity in Christ. And in September, the same month that my dad died, back in 2009, this same identity would be tested by the same Creator who gave me it.
Now to those terrifying moments where a man was struck by lightning.
It happened in the middle of a night after he was struck by lightning during this morning's storm. Officers tell us a man was taking a walk. A lightning bolt hit the man in the head. It traveled through his body and exited through his foot.
2024 was one hell of a year when it came to those who love taking lightning photography. Given where my apartment was, I had a great view at all times when a thunderstorm would be rolling into the valley, such as this video right here where I literally nearly got hit.
Whoa, time to go in.
Yeah, probably not a good idea for anybody to be I mean, look at that. Look at that. You're basically shaking hands with God at that point. I don't know what I was thinking. I just wanted to go out and see if I could catch some lightning, and it looks like the good Lord Jesus actually provided a little bit more than what I prayed for. Now, before I get into the primary part of what happened in September, I want to just share a few more videos of the cool lightning that I took this year, just to get it out the way before we get into the heavy stuff.
You hear that? Oh, dear. Wow, look at that. Look at that.
Then one day in early September, I went out onto my patio to feel the rain when I heard a crashing noise coming from behind my apartment. My elderly next door neighbor was actually outside unloading groceries when I heard her just yell at the top of her lungs, "Whoa!" I asked if there was a car crash that just happened that I didn't see, because that's exactly what it sounded like. She yelled to me over the fence that it was actually a lightning strike that hit something out of view like a nearby tree. I then waited roughly 10 minutes to take my electric scooter to my mom's place, which was just 5 minutes away, to do my laundry since my apartment complex didn't have a washer and dryer. So I waited for 10 minutes in hopes of waiting the storm out. After 10 or so minutes, I hooked my laundry bag onto the scooter's front and went off with the rain having almost completely stopped. Almost. I got to a nearby traffic light four-way cross and waited while hearing the thunder that I'd passed over already slowly making its way towards and over the mountains. Then a bright flash in all points of my view, and a pain I could only describe to emergency personnel is as if somebody threw a 90-mile-an-hour baseball at the top back of my head hit me. I was hit by lightning. For a full few seconds, I had legitimately lost consciousness. When I came to, I was falling to the ground knuckles first, The resulting shockwave ruptured my eardrums. It was only comparable to 1,000 trees breaking all around me, then 100 trains rolling over me. A man who caught the strike across the street from his car, who saw me get hit, races through the green light and pulled over in front of me, aiding me and offering to take me to the hospital. And here we are, October. A year ago, 2023, this exact month, I met the beautiful, amazing woman that led me through the first steps of recognizing I was in a domestic violence relationship. It was during this month we established what I was in and created an action plan to help get me out. October 2024, I spent much of my time trying to put myself out there again. I began going to the bar nearly every Friday with the intention of making new friends, celebrating Halloween, and ultimately through my ways, as cringy and cliche as this is going to come off, bringing others closer to Christ with my story. You know, I had a very unique tactic of starting conversations with people. Before arriving at the bar, I would go down to Maverick and buy 1 to 2 packs of cigarettes. At the bar, I would sit in the back patio and wait for others to ask me for a spare ciggy. I would give them 2, and they would begin talking to me, getting to know me. It was during these moments of conversation many would ask me about the cross necklace on my chest, or my past, or what makes me, who am I? And it was during those same conversations I would share my story of where I've been. The same story that you yourself are watching unfold on this very video. Church is not meant to be a museum of holy and glorious people. It's a hospital for the broken. At a place like the bar, I led more people to Christ than I would have in any church. It was here that I didn't get drunk, but rather led drunks to a higher purpose. And you know what? It worked. Yeah, I'm going to jail. Let's just get this crap over with. Let's make an extremely complicated and long story short and fathomable, all right? November 12th, I went to a Maverick 2 blocks down from my place to get a Dr. Pepper and a cigar, right? Well, the moment I pulled off of the parking lot, I was, and I quote, sniped. Straight up sniped. Like a bird out of the air by a cop. right? I got pulled over, respectfully talked to the dude. He told me my backlights weren't on, gave me a warning, you know? And as I said, let's take an extremely complicated and long story and turn it short. So I've put together some points of what happened next. And trust me, I was just as shocked as you will be. I politely and cooperatively passed a sobriety test. Twice. Well, despite that, got arrested for having a 250 milligram medical marijuana pen on me, and still got arrested because I don't have my medical marijuana card yet here in Utah. Down at the stationing, I waived my Sixth Amendment right, but still got questioned. After I waived my right to legal representation, the Sixth Amendment, foolishly consented to a coerced piss test and tested positive for active THC. Spent a whole night in county jail, actually a day and a night and a half. Then I was released with court preliminary on the 27th. Sucks. Man, them bad boys slapped me hard with a crime, though. They slapped me with 3 Class B misdemeanors. One of them was possession of drug paraphernalia. The other one was being under the influence of a controlled substance. And then the third one was driving under the influence of alcohol and or drug substance. What in the hell, right? What the hell, right? January, I fled the 2.5-year domestic violence relationship to a domestic prevention shelter. I spent this month wasting away and trying to get comfy in life again, being single after so long. I spent February primarily getting in the habit of working out again, trying to find self-love and acceptance within. It was the month of personal retribution and the beginning of my workout journey. Ultimately, the whole month was a step in the right direction, with motivation for a better future and quality of life being the goal. March was the continuation month of my workout routines, and the same month I finally moved on from the apartment I'd spent the last year enduring my abuse and loss of self in. It was the month I let go of the past, the abuse, the trauma, the sadness, all of it. I simply put, moved on. It was time for a new direction and a new beginning in life. April, I continued working on myself physically and psychologically. I started night shifts at Walmart full-time and began looking for apartments to move into for myself. Started taking my hair growth seriously and ultimately my own self-image far, far more personally. But only God knew, literally, what was to come. May was the month of Charlie passing, as we've covered. Just a mere week or so before moving into my own apartment, he left my life and on to his next. But as I said earlier, no matter how big or small the loss, we must move on, and so did I. But I'd be lying if I didn't say there were many days of this year I really, really needed him. And not a day goes by where I don't think about him. moved into my own apartment, completely alone. No Charlie, no family, no friends, just me. They say you really don't know someone till you've lived with them. There should be another that goes, you don't know how lonely you are till you've lived by yourself. But during this time, I focused on myself, my relationship with God, and enjoying the single life entirely. But I needed purpose, and that's when August arrived. August was my favorite month of this prolonged year. It was the month God led me fully to discover who I was and the beauty of the world I lived in. I chased sunsets, filmed views you can only find in northern Utah, and ultimately just spent my days utterly alone and at peace with it being that way. It was the one month this year where I genuinely felt at peace in life. For once, after all the suffering, not just suffering through the past relationship, but everything in life leading up to that month, I felt genuinely happy. September was the month I was struck by lightning. Coincidentally, it was the same month my father passed away years ago. This month was a massive struggle for me, not being able to sleep on my side due to where the Lichtenberg figures scarred my inner muscle tissue and bones. But regardless, I continued fighting through 2024. I was still finding peace in life and learning more about who I was. I really missed my dad, as I'd love to have him or anyone else in my family to be there during my time of great physical pain. During this month and beyond, and besides my aunt, not a single person in my family reached out to me or my mom to see if I was okay after I was hit by lightning. Notwithstanding Halloween and the stories I told you about the bar, October was a massive month of reflection. I reminisced on where that girl was that I fell in love with, who aided me in the action plan to getting me out of the domestic violence situation I was in. The entire month I heavily reminisced on so many memories and so many what could have beens with her. But aside from the sadness of the past and futures I could only imagine happen, I stayed focused and was happy on the present and the fact that I was at a polar opposite place compared to where I was literally a year ago. I was still going, and 2024 was slowly but surely coming to an end. Yet, before the end of the month, I caught this banger moment on film of me being happy, finally.
Yeah, Freestyle Friday number 17. Guess who got the overdraft fees back? Yep, guess who got the overdraft fees back? It was me, and my name is E-Double. Everybody, activate social, what up? The Honorable Senator Max Baucus. Happy May 21st, and happy Freestyle Friday 17. I hope everybody's doing well. See you later.
Shut up.
Facebook.com/EW Hip Hop.
Get out of here. Shut up.
November, I primarily / initially talked about my arrest on the 12th when we went over it. But what I didn't cover is the results of my personal life from that arrest. During November, I began looking at the possibility that Utah really isn't home for me anymore. I mean, I've been here since 2005 and was even born here in the state, but it doesn't feel like home anymore. I had already started thinking heavily of moving out of northern Utah, where I've basically grown up in, but after this arrest, it was a bigger wake-up call and an even bigger change needing to happen. That change we're going to discuss after we cover December and towards the end of this film. But for now, let's cover November in a short recap. November I spent working out twice as much to improve my physical health in an overlap. I started looking at my body as a temple of God's Spirit, as our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, stated in the Bible. And thus I started taking care of it like one. Every night I'd go to the gym at 11 p.m. when no one else was there and I could be alone with my thoughts and with God. Throughout the month, I continued going to court for my arrest, pleading not guilty, to allow myself to defend and in hopes of truth of the arrest being negotiated for a compassionate justice, if the charges didn't get dropped. We also celebrated Thanksgiving. I cleaned and got ready for my grandpa to join my mom and I, as we had speculation that this may be his last Thanksgiving due to his old age and decline in health. And on a more fun note, November was also the month I really started taking my social media presence on Snapchat more full-time and serious. At the time in November, I had over 3,000 subscribers with up to 140,000 weekly viewers who saw my content on their recommendeds page. I'm using extra points to get some hash browns at McDonald's, and it is cold! Look at, everybody's freezing. Everybody's cold. Even the sign is saying merge in the winter cautiously. Brother, cold!
Hello, nurse, let me burst on this verse. I rock steady, but I never rehearse. And every verse I work is right on the money. Yo, I got more raps than a mummy, honey. Cause we the boogie to jumpstart your ventricles. Strapped on the World Series, man, it has to be. J-Roll needs a measuring. It's about to get rough, grab the Vaseline. Cause we'll team up on that, so mean. Our shirts get dirty, you cats get cleaned up without our business. I like to talk a lot.
Looks like Howard knocked another in the parking lot. Broken windshield, we lead in the infield.
Well, I run Colin Sullivan.
David Winfield.
No problem, oh, they bottom. Tampa Bay Rays can't phase my squadron. Probably would've beat him if we only hit the Dobson. Especially when you're going like
Middle really riding. That's at the bottom.
even though Jamie Moyer's got 5 years in my father.
One luck crook, yeah, best of luck to ya.
Back up off the plate, the Holiday might touch ya. Pinstripe punk, yeah, J-Worth clutch. Opposite of that little Albert Haynesworth clutch.
He's the big nab, I'm gonna miss you, big fella. I hate like ADHD, needed you like Odella. Kinda did you wrong, and I'm sorry for that. Jeez. Okay, sometimes I look back at these videos from my Snapchat, and I'm like, what crack is that guy smoking? Anyways, let's move on to December. Let's move on to December. This month has been a good month for me. This month has been such a powerful one. It's as if I've taken everything I've learned since January 1st and put it into practice within the 31 days of this month. I continued working out double time and have finally reached a level in my body where I am physically healthy and lost enough weight to be considered positive in my weight. I continued my content creation on Snapchat, gaining 1,400 subscribers since November in this short time alone. And you know what? Just like in August, I am still spending my time chasing sunsets and embracing the peace of being genuinely isolated and alone during this time of my life.
And hey, Christmas came around too. Me and my mom visited my grandpa, and my mom even decorated his little tree. For Christmas, I spent it just me and my mom. She cooked possibly the best dinner she's ever made, and I am not just saying that to say it. And albeit enjoyed not so much a white Christmas, but a white Christmas nonetheless. But I'm going to be honest to God on my dad's grave when I say this. I wouldn't have wanted this Christmas any other way. Last 2 Christmases, I spent with my ex's family while my mom stayed home all alone. This was the best Christmas I have had in years, and I am extremely happy to have spent it only with my mom. And just like that, 2024 is finally coming to an end. Similar to that of October, 2024 is ending just as fast as it started. And you know what? So be it. But this year will be a year I will look back on. This year will be a year I will tell my kids about. This year will be a year that I will revisit many times on Judgment Day. 2024 is one of the primary years of my life. It is the year that I experienced so much loss and gain all in the same. It is the same year that I found myself, and it is the year that I seeked retribution in my suffering. And I'm just going to be completely honest when I say this. I have nothing but thanks to give to Jesus Christ for exactly what I just said. Everything and beyond that. Literally, thank you to God. If there's one thing about 2024 that I have not figured out yet, is how the hell to manage my hair. I mean, I put this thing anywhere and it just goes sideways. Look at that, like rat's nest. Anyways. Wow. What a journey this has been, this year has been. As I sit here at the end of 2024, reflecting on everything that has happened, I cannot help but feel grateful for the growth and the strength that I've gained. It all started on January 1st when I made the difficult but necessary decision to flee a domestic violence relationship. That was the beginning of a profound journey of self-discovery, as I said in the beginning of this film. Throughout this year, I've documented my experiences, my highs, my lows, and it's all led me to this moment. Now, right now. I'm excited to share my plans for the future too. I've decided I am going to move out of Utah for good. I'm ready to start fresh and create a new chapter in my life, a long-lasting chapter. Georgia will soon be my new home, a place where I can build a life that will thrive rather than suffocate like it's been here in Utah. I have an action plan in place to drop the charges in court. Me and my appointed have been talking about it. This plan not only demonstrates my commitment, but also showcases my determination to make positive changes. I've outlined steps for employment, personal development, community involvement, and spiritual growth. This plan reflects my resolve to start clean, like a clean slate, right? And leave the past where it damn well belongs behind. As I look ahead to 2025, I am filled with hope and anticipation. I really am. I plan to take everything I've learned this year and actually expand on it. From the lessons in resilience and self-worth, to the importance of community and support, These are the foundations on which I will build my future. Lastly, I want to thank Christ for all he has done for me this year. His guidance, his love, and strength have literally been the anchor through the storm. No pun intended with the lightning strike. I am committed to deepening my relationship with him and continuing this spiritual journey. Thank you for being a part of this journey and for your support. Here's to new beginnings and the bright, bright future that lies ahead. God bless. There's just a couple more things that I want to add at the end of this film, but hopefully you move into 2025 smoothly. I say we get 2024 the hell out of here. Honestly, it's overdue.